All right. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Amanda. Appreciate you hopping on. Everyone, I'm Mike Myers, founder of Lully, and we have Amanda here with us. Amanda, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Alrighty, my name is Amanda Miller. I am the facility manager here at FST Logistics. I've been with the company for almost 8 years now, and one of our larger clients requires high productivity, and that's why we are working with Mike and Lully.
Yeah, appreciate that. So could you tell us a little bit about the operation, just maybe the inventory type, the order profile that you deal with, and yeah, we'll go from there.
So the type of inventory that we have is basically flavoring for either water or coffee. And it's the type that has 0 calories, so it's very popular and 0 sugar. We do different avenues of their business. We pick retail orders that go to different big retail suppliers like Walmart, Target, Kohl's. We do something called off price, which means we have our kitting department and they price sticker for some of the stores that you would find that sell the product at a lower price. And also we do e-commerce here. E-commerce fulfillment is basically pick and pack. And then they have different highs and lows throughout the years. They run sales and they have their peak season, like most businesses do, right around Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Awesome. Yeah, and how does the e-com profile look, right? So that's where Lully is focused within the operation, and I think it's helpful to get a sense. Are we talking 1 unit per order? Or are we talking 500 units per order? What's the typical e-com order look like?
So, I mean, they do vary from 1 to 25 bottles, right? However, the most common order profile is 7 to 9 bottles per order.
Yeah. So a little bit higher than your typical e-commerce world, if you will. Makes it a little bit more challenging, maybe a little bit more fun.
Yes, and they have over 100 SKUs that we pick from. So.
Yep. And that also fluctuates over time, right?
It does.
Base, yeah.
They have their holiday flavors, they have their fall flavors, and they have their limited edition flavors. So that will go up and down throughout the year.
Very good. So if you think way back when, it's been a little bit now, but if you think back to before we started working together, can you tell us a little bit about the challenges or the pain points that you faced prior to working with Lully, and maybe a little bit on how some of those have been addressed?
So yeah, a couple of different things that stick out to me is prior to working with Lully, the orders that our pickers pick are in waves. And prior to Lully, those waves were manually released with limitations based on the system. We could only release about 500 lines at a time. Now that's not 500 orders, that is SKUs picked. Otherwise, anything larger than that would bog down the system. And they were released based on dates. Oldest orders would be released first. So it was challenging because there was no optimization for the pick path. Now, I didn't know that was an issue until I met Mike. And we also had a very large footprint out there on the floor. The aisles ranged from 105 to 113, and our pickers would just snake all of these aisles. Very, very large, a lot of work. So yeah, I don't know if I painted a good picture there.
Yeah, that's good. I'll come back to the aisle contraction at some point, because I think that one's kind of interesting by itself. But no, I think that helps a ton, just kind of paint a picture of the operation and where we're plugged in.
Okay.
How do you think, so you mentioned that before you were creating waves basically by date, which is pretty normal, right? Like that is the base default behavior for almost every operation. And it makes a lot of sense, right? But you're not anymore. And I'm curious, how has that impacted your SLAs? So how has your on-time shipping changed with that shift in prioritization or focus?
So our on-time shipping is 99%. And there has been a lot of changes in the operation since Lully has come into play. One being we were able to eliminate one position, one full-time position. That was the person manually releasing the waves. It's not like that anymore. We basically, the CSR team builds our replen, and they replen the line based on the older orders, of course, because that is always the goal, to get the older orders out. And then you hit the auto wave button, and now it looks at 2,000 orders at a time instead of just 500, and it automatically releases. And the thing that is really important here is how Lully optimized the pick path and grouped orders together for better efficiency when it came to picking the orders. And that also enabled us to shorten our footprint.
Yeah.
So by 4 aisles. And that is huge because one of our top pickers, she normally averaged about 7 to 10 miles a day. She wears a smartwatch that tracks all that, right? Mm-hmm. 7 to 10 miles a day. Now that's down to 1 to 3, depending on how much she picks. So
yeah, that's
pretty huge.
Yeah, huge. That's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And the aisle shrinking, right? If you think about it, Lully did not decrease your SKU base in any way. Like, we didn't impact your SKU base. Mm-hmm. We're not directly impacting your slotting in any way, but I think, and you tell me why you think it became feasible, but I think that shrinking of that footprint could occur because you had really good controls in place now around the wave release and the replenishment. And as a result of those, you were able to tighten it up and not keep as much pickable inventory on the ground because it's not good. Yeah.
You are correct. And we were able to lower our picking head count. So it wasn't as congested and we could shrink it.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty nice thing, right? So there's the nice anecdote of one person's experience of decreasing, I don't know, 60%, 70%. They're walking throughout the day, which is pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. But then also when you think about shrinking that footprint, you've now made your operation just easier to manage, right? Supervisors have to cover less ground. The pickers obviously do. You're replenning less locations, so you have less tasks to think about.
Yes.
And then, maybe tangential, but I think that there's benefit to new people because when you have a smaller warehouse, it is so much easier to learn where every location is, how to move effectively as compared to this, larger area.
Yeah. Another benefit is there's less inventory to manage in the picking locations.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And then talking about kind of new people, onboarding people, I'm curious if you think back to your last peak season before Lully versus the one we just got through. What did that look like and feel like? And maybe it's helpful to give context on both head count, throughput, whatever you think is meaningful.
I have both of that. So in 2024 peak season, we did 29,000 orders with 60 temps.
Okay.
And 2025 peak season, we did 28,000, so 1,000 less orders, but it was with 20 less people.
Okay, that's pretty good. Yep,
Pretty good.
that's pretty good. I don't know the rough math on what the value is there, but I know that that probably means you were pulling at your hair a lot less.
A lot less. And we did not have a wave planner working 12 to 14 hours a day trying to make sure there was enough orders to the floor.
That's 100%.
It looked very different this year. When it came to waving and releasing the orders, we never came close to running out of orders on the floor. It was very smooth.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
The thing that I enjoy watching so we get notified as people are sending requests in, jobs in, and I love seeing the fluctuation in your guys' requests, because we will see requests for 500 order lines, and then the next morning we'll see 30,000 order lines, and it's fun to watch, because I kind of get a sense of the heartbeat of what's happening on the floor, even remotely. It's pretty neat. So that's why occasionally you get a text asking, how are things going?
How's it going? I knew you could see certain things, but I wasn't sure. I'm like, is he a mind reader or what? But definitely, it's all contingent on what type of sales the customer is running, and it's all contingent on their sales. So yeah.
100%. One of the things that I pride myself on a lot, and we take a lot of pride in, is how we engage with customers, how we support customers. And I would love to hear from your perspective, particularly because you came into the engagement late, right? You didn't sit through all the integration and the back and forth that happened there. You kind of got in once it was go time.
Yep.
So I'd love to hear from your perspective what that's been like working with us. Generally, if you have specific examples, whatever you want to share.
I mean, I think that you've been incredibly supportive in all of our little challenges that we've seen. Any questions that I have, you were literally a text away. I know you were working on that other project here, coming up, like I said before, coming up with solutions for problems I didn't know I had. I do appreciate the fact that you are not shy about identifying an issue and inefficiency and trying to come up with solutions to help us with that. I absolutely love that. So I think it's been great working with you. It's been a great partnership. So
yeah, that is my favorite thing, frankly. Like I love walking into the warehouse and talking with you guys and seeing what we can come up with, seeing what obstacles we can remove together. I think it's a blast. Maybe a disease, but a lot of fun. What are you most excited about next with Lully? So what else are we going to do? What else are we thinking about? What's got you excited?
You may already know this, but I am pretty excited about Pick to Shipper and Pick to Light. If we ever get to that point, those are the two things that I really, really want to pull the trigger on, so to speak.
Yep, I think we're going to. Get there before we know it.
Simultaneously.
Yes, yeah, we're going to get there before we know it, and I'm excited to work on that with you guys and bring it to life. 100%.
And the application that you have that can track all that data, and on the Gladiator, whatever you call it, I'm not very great at.
No, I know what you mean. Yep. Yeah. That's a teaser for anyone watching. Not publicly announced yet, but that's all right. Let the cat out of the bag. All right. Well, Amanda, thank you for taking a few minutes to chat with me and let people hear about your experience working with Lully, the impact that it's had. I've loved working with you guys. It's been a blast.
It really has.
For
Very
anyone,
positive too. Very
yeah,
positive.
for anyone who doesn't know FST Logistics or the FST team, they are phenomenal to work with. They take great care of their customers. I would definitely encourage reaching out and having a chat if you're in need of fulfillment, whether that be e-com only, omni-channel, what have you. They do a knockout job.
Thank you for that, Mike.